Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the free online education platform of Purvanchal IAS. And this lecture is all about ethics, integrity, and aptitude subject. And this is the part of your Gender Studies paper number 4. And in this series, this is lecture number 19, English version. So before proceeding, I would like to share a significant information here. So students, if you are interested for various study materials in the form of PPT or PDF, so you can follow our Telegram group. You can also follow the Facebook page of Dr. Ravi P. Agri. You can join Purvanchal IAS at Gorakhpur for face-to-face and live classes. And for the correspondence courses and publications, you can contact on these given numbers, and you can use our website, visit our website, and you can also use our email ID. Let's move for the next. So here you are seeing a cover page of a book. Book is all about ethics subject, and this is published by Purvanchal IAS. So now they are available at Amazon and gyanworld.com. And the main thing is that book is written very clearly and gives abstract information about the entire content. So as per my good suggestion, please read it once, and along with this, please keep listening my all the videos, all the lectures, and be continue with your preparation. On that note, let's move further. So this is a very short video, short lecture in which exclusively I will talk about the concept of Hindutva and Hindutva ideology, right? And also it's a very important topic for all of you as per your examination point of view, right? So let's get started our topic and let's try to understand the ideology and the concept of Hindutva or Hinduism. Let's move for the next. So here, firstly, we will understand the meaning of Hindutva. So the literally Hindutva means a way of life or a stage of mind that is based on the cultural and spiritual ethos, based on the spiritual system that evolved from India. So you know that Hindutva or Hindu or Hinduism is all about associated with the subcontinent India. Right? So Hindutva is a philosophy. It's a philosophy like communism and socialism. You know that communism and socialism is a kind of philosophy. Like that, Hinduism is also a philosophy. But the difference is that whereas communism and socialism are materialistic philosophies intend to secure economic welfare of individuals, where Hindutva is a spiritual plus economic. It's both spiritual and economic philosophy, founded and developed from ancient times in India for securing all round happiness for all individuals irrespective of social levels of individuals. So the focus in this philosophy, be it the ruler or the ruled, is on the performance of duty and conformity to a code of conduct. Pay attention my all words and lines. This must be very much important for all of you. So the word Hindutva is not found in traditional lexicon. It was used for the first time by the national leader V.D. Savarkar, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, in 1923. Since then, the term has been used in different shades of meanings and placed at the service of a range of socio-political interventionist practices. So Hindutva, or the stage of being Hindu, the inhabitants of Sindhu Pradesh, is in many ways not very far from English term called Hinduism. That is the way of life of the Hindus or the inhabitants of the greater India without the disparity of caste and creed. A Hindu Rashtra does not mean a theoretic state. Pay attention on this. It's not mean a theoretic state if we called this is a Hindu Rashtra. This is simply a way of life, national tradition, concept of materialism, Sanatan Dharma, where there is no scope for untouchability and any kind of differences. This is the fundamental features associated with the philosophy of Hindutva. Simply, it denotes the Indian culture and Indianhood, right? So there are a plenty of historical records to illustrate and demonstrate how Hindustan has down the ages been to mean India. For example, let's take some examples. Very first, Sir Syed Ahmed Khan. Sir Syed Ahmed, the founder of the Aligarh Muslim University, as calling himself a Hindu. And it is not uncommon for a Muslim in a Muslim country to call an Indian Muslim a Hindu because he belongs to Hindustan simply, right? And poet Iqbal's word, Hindu hai hum, watan hai Hindustan hamara, and Mahatma Gandhi's prayer, Ishwar Allah tero naam, sabko sammati de Bhagwan, are more meaningful to convey the message of Hindutva. So, students, Hindutva is not a religion as it does not convey the sense of Hindu Dharma only, right? Because the Hindu concept of Dharma is not just faith or religion, as it is commonly but mistakenly taken to be, right? It's a total cosmic responsibility, including God's a universal justice far more inclusive, wider and profounder than any Western equivalent as duty. Remember this. The Hindu, in the original sense of the term, were the inhabitants residing in Sapta Sindhu region, irrespective of caste and creed and any kind of differences and disparities. And the greatest quality of the Hindus has been their power of liberalism, tolerance, adjustment, and assimilation of all cultures, whosoever come in contact with their faith and social life. Vedic religion, Buddhism, Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Chavark philosophy, etc. These all are associated with Hindu philosophy. These all social philosophies and faith flourished in this country without any prejudice and discrimination, without any disparities and differences. So I would like to say, Hindutva is nothing but the theory and practice of national and international politics as defined by Sanatan Dharma, known also as Hinduism. It is not a creed like Christianity or Islam, but a code of conduct and a value system that has a spiritual freedom at its core. Any pathway or spiritual vision that accepts the spiritual freedom or others may be considered a part of Sanatan Dharma. As Sri Aurobindo Ghosh described it, Sanatan Dharma is also the basis of Indian nationalism, Bharatiya Rashtravad. And the basis of Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma is the quest for cosmic truth, just as the quest for physical truth in the domain of science. Hindutva is not necessarily limited to India or to those who consider themselves to be orthodox Hindus. although it reflects the main traditions of the land and the power of its inner soul or guiding spirit, that is Bharat Mata. Bharat Mata, Mother India. Now let's understand some other aspects on Hinduism. Let's move further. So here we will understand the Hindutva and the modernity. Here, let's let's understand Savarkar's Hindutva. V.D. Savarkar's Hindutva is a modern ideology. When he said that the Hindu Raj should be based on the concept of Hindutva, he meant a nation which grows out of historical and cultural background, but incorporating science and secularism both. Please pay attention, as its two wings. Hindutva have two wings according to V.D. Savarkar. The very first is incorporating science and secularism. Savarkar always wanted that the national majority, after whom the state is named, must follow its bent, must grow according to its nature, and built by reconciling the past with the present and shaping its future in the light of science, spirituality, and secularism, right? So Savarkar, in his important work Hindutva, he developed the core of his philosophy on the concept of Hindutva. And according to him, Hindutva was not a word, but it's a history. It was not only a history of the spiritual or religious life of the Indian people, but a history of the entire civilization. Hinduism is only a derivative, a fraction, a part of Hindutva, right? And in order to make Hindutva a grand concept, he held that by an ism. It was generally meant a theory or code of conduct or code, more or less based on a spiritual or religious dogma or system. And in order to investigate into the essential significance of Hindutva, Savarkar did not primarily concern himself with any particular theoretic or religious dogma or creed. Remember this. Students, Savarkar was of the opinion that Hindutva embraced all the departments of thoughts and activity of the whole being of Hindu race. So, their Hindutva, in the eye of Savarkar's, Hindutva, according to Savarkar, rested on three pillars. Let me take a pen. That is, very first, geographical unity. Geographical unity. The second one is racial features. Racial features. And the third is common culture. Savarkar minimized the importance of religious criterion in the definition of Hindu by claiming that Hinduism was only one of the attributes of Hinduness. So here I explain the Hindutva according to V.D. Savarkar, which is very much important to know all of you. And basically you all know that Hinduism, the religion followed by 800 million people in India and 100 million in the rest of the world, and encompasses a wide variety of beliefs and rituals there. And over the centuries, this religious tradition has slowly evolved to be practiced and understood in many different ways. But it is intricately woven into the land and culture of India, simply. Although religious beliefs may vary, right? They do not exclude one another and are accepted as a part of the variety of Hindu tradition. If we talk about historically, Hinduism can be seen as unfolding in stages. But this is misleading because some of its earliest form persist to the present, relatively unaffected by later innovations. So, Hinduism is not the name that the people of India gave this spiritual tradition. It was a given letter by outsiders to describe the people who lived east of the river Indus. This is the fact. You must know that. And the earliest, most ancient civilization in India was discovered during the excavations of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro. Pretending the Aryans' invasion by almost 1500 years, and although no writing remains, some artifacts were uncovered with characteristics similar to descriptions found in the Vedas, such as the three-faced prototype of Shiva seated in a yogic position, representations of the linga, and a horned goddess associated with the peepal tree. Many seals with religious symbols were part of the ruins, right? A large pool was discovered as well, you know that, which may have been used for ritual purifications. That is a significant ritual for Hindu in today also. This civilization was much more advanced than the one the Aryans brought with them, right? And I have already told you that Hindu refer to their religion as, let me take a pen, as Sanatan Dharma, that is eternal truth or ancient religion. The word dharma is a rich in meaning. I have already explained in my 18th lecture. Please go and listen this. So simply here I would like to say you dharma, it can refer to the natural unchanging laws that sustain the universe and keep it in balance. Or it can be translated as law or social duty. One more important thing is that primarily associated with this religion, the caste system, right? Caste system. It is the integral part of the Hindu society. Essentially, the system consisted the four main castes with membership determined by birth, right? The highest caste is that of the Brahmins, whose members have been priests, philosophers, and religious teachers. Next in importance were the Kshatriya. The second is Kshatriyas, that is, rulers, and the soldiers are associated with this caste. Then followed the Vaishyas, the traders and the farmers, and finally the Shudra, who was the worker and the servant of the rest of the caste. The origin of the caste system is traced back to the Rig Veda, where the hymn of Purusha, that is the supreme person, described it like his mouth became the Brahman, his arms were made into the warrior, his thighs the people, and from his feet the servant were born. So, one of the tragic consequences of the caste system has been developed of the group known as untouchables. Those who have been expelled by their own caste for violating its rules and regulations. The caste system is still present in Indian society, even though the constitution forbids it. The government has tried to improve the often disparate plight of the outcasts who perform the fullest and most menial task in society. Mahatma Gandhi referred to the untouchables as children of God, that is, Harijan, children of God. But in many ways, Hinduism is a unique religion. It has no founder, no uniform dogma, no hierarchical priesthood, no direct revelation, and no rigidly described moral code. That's why Hinduism, so solid from a distance, is riven into sects and clans which redirect and join and change their names according to the aspects from which they approached. Right? Now let's understand some theology associated with Hinduism or Hindu Dharma. The very first is Rig Veda. Explains the significance of the one truth, right? It follows and says, truth is one. And if we talk about Hindu sacred writing, which are classified into two groups, that is Shruti, which means what was heard by or uh, revealed to the Sheers, and the second one is Smriti, that is what is remembered. Both were orally preserved for a long time before being written down. The first Stuti writing are the most sacred and are considered the infallible words of divinity. And the four Vedas, a body of ancient hymns and chants written in Sanskrit. You all know that, right? The term Ved means wisdom. Ved means wisdom. Just understand all these. This is very much important for all of you. So the term Ved, which means wisdom. The oldest is the Rig Ved. You know that? Rig Ved. Composed or more than 1,000 hymns and organized into 10 mandals or book. 10 mandals. And the second is Samved. Samved consists mainly of the melodies or music for chants used to sacrificial ceremonies, right? Almost all of its written verses are founded in Rig Veda also. The Samveda helped to train musicians as the sacrifice become more complex, so it did the music. And the Yajurved is made up of ritual instructions and formulas used by priests assisting at various rituals and rites. And Atharva Ved, lastly, the fourth Ved, Atharva Ved, contains hymns, popular incantation, and folklore, right? And attached with the Vedas, that there is Brahmins, which contain commentaries to guide the practice of the sacrifices and explain the meaning of Vedic prayer. So the Brahmins provide insight into the social custom of the period and serve as a transition between the Ved and Upanishad, which means literally those who sit near. Those who sit near. And there is an Upanishad for every Veda, and every Brahman, right? Brahmanas. So various attempts were made to organize them, with the result that Hindu tradition recognized the authority of 108 Upanishads, of which a dozen have a special importance. The philosophy contained in the Upanishad, as later expressed by schools of interpretation, is called Vedanta. Vedanta. That is the end of culmination of the Vedas. Right? This all you were study under the history subject. Okay, here I am giving you a sketch, a brief sketch about the theology of Hinduism or Hindutva, right? So just understand it very carefully. And in addition to Shruti writings, a second group called Smriti, right? Smriti was developed later, which includes the epics, of which the two most famous are Ramayana, and the second one is Mahabharata. The Ramayana recounts the exploits of Ram, a righteous prince, unjustly banished from his kingdom. Through a series of adventures, he ultimately conquered the force of evil. The Ramayana consists of 24,000 couplet verses, and the Mahabharata at 10,000 couplets verses is the longest epic and the longest poem written in any language. It takes the form of good and evil, conflict between good and evil with the soul of human being. Part of its timeless and universal appeals lies in its theme of individual conciseness conflicting with the rule of society. As with the Ramayana, the forces of good finally win out over evil. Asatya par satya ki vijay. The best known part of this epic is Bhagavad-Gita. Let me remove this. Bhagavad Bhag, Bhagavad-Gita. Okay. Which is revered by all Hindu. The Bhagavad-Gita in its 18th chapter, you know that, opened a path of salvation that appealed to many Hindu, namely that an intense devotion to a personal God is possible. The God Krishna is portrayed as a loving, compassionate deity who has a personal relationship with the hero Prince Arjuna. The epic single out certain deities for special attention and praise by Hindu. They also encourage good conduct, good behavior, good morale and ethics, even in the face of adversity or negativity. Since good and bad fortune in this life are affected by the deeds and thoughts of the individual, this fate carries over into the future lives. Remember this. So, in conclusion, I would like to say that Hinduism has been the shaping force for the majority of people in the subcontinent of India, almost from its recorded beginning. Right? It has shaped mores, manners, and customs as well as many other aspects of Indian society. It has withstood the challenges of three major world religion as called Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity, as is recorded in the words of Ramakrishna. He said, God has made different religions to suit different aspirants, times, and countries. All doctrines are only so many paths. So common man is ignorance says, my religion is the only one. My religion is the best. But when his heart is uh, illuminated by true knowledge, he knows that above all these wars of sects and sectarians presides the one individual, eternal, and all knowing bliss. So, this was the last line of my lecture. I hope you could understand this all clearly. Thank you so much for listening to me. And once again, I would like to please join Purvanchal IAS at online platform, or you can also join it at Gorakhpur for face-to-face and live classes. Contact on these numbers for more queries. At last, thank you so much. And till then, goodbye. Be happy and keep happy. Thank you so much.